Someone asked me on here, why do I talk about jealousy? Why do I make, videos on jealousy and stuff like that? Not only do I go through it, I've been through it, and I still go through it. I feel like that's something we could all chime in on and talk about because also, too, it's relatable. But I talk about it because when it comes to people around you, you have to be mindful of who you hang around, y'all. And I feel like sometimes people can be a little too nice, meaning if you have that friend, a lot of y'all have friends who's supposed to been cut off a long time ago, baby. A long time ago. And these people or that person is still around you. Yes, when people say talk about jealousy, yes, jealousy is definitely a natural thing. It is natural. But no one talks about when jealousy starts becoming demonic. Certain things you can't play with, and I feel like jealousy is one of them. I'm gonna keep it real. A friend of mine and I were talking one night, and he told me a verse in the Bible, and he said that jealousy is as cruel as the grave. That means a person or people can do some wild shit and make some crazy ass decisions. If you look at Shanquilla Robinson, Kanika Jenkins, and Selena, what do they all have in common? All of them passed away in a hotel. If you know somebody don't like you, if you know deep down in your heart a group of females don't like you, or anybody or males that don't like you, don't go with them nowhere. Nowhere. While you thinking everything, gonna be all right, I'm gonna be good, and you got all these good intentions that everything gonna be all right, and you got people who you think you're cool with trying to take your ass up out of here. I just want to say, y'all, you can't play with everybody. If it look like a duck, it smell. If it smell like a rat, it's a rat. If it quack like a duck, it's a duck. Don't play with stuff like that. Jealousy is cruel as the grave. Nobody talks about when jealousy starts becoming demonic and evil, because when it comes down to jealousy, it is levels to that shit. It's definitely levels to that shit. And when somebody jealous of you, girl, they don't care about you being there for them. I can tell you plenty of people I've been there for. Then helped them, then been there for them, then fed them and they kids, they child too. I can tell you so many people. They don't care. Start accepting for people for who they are. If they feel a way about you, sis, if they feel a way about you, bro, that's that on that. Go ahead. You need to, what them scissors at? You need to go ahead and start cutting them off. It's not healthy and it's not safe. If you're watching this video right now, a lot of y'all already know in the back of your mind who it is you need to cut off. It's not cool, it's not healthy, and it's not safe. Go ahead and start making the right decisions, y'all, because you never know what's on somebody's mind, and you never know what somebody will do to you. Jealousy is cruel as the grave.
So somebody who feels envious of you ends up befriending you. And consciously, they may not be even aware of that. They think, well, I do want to like them. But unconsciously, they feel envy. They think that you have success that you don't necessarily deserve, that you have what they want. Right? They become your friend and they charm you, et cetera, et cetera. And then lo and behold, you start noticing all kinds of behavior that's very ugly that you weren't expecting because they're your friend. They start saying bitchy comments that get under your skin, that make you feel insecure. They take things from you. They act in ways that are hurtful. But because they're your friend, your first instinct is to blame yourself. Well, maybe it's my fault that they've done this. Maybe I'm actually to blame for what they're saying, et cetera, et cetera. So I believe behind the frenemies phenomenon is this phenomena of envy, where the person secretly wants what you have and they're becoming your friend so that they can wound you.
Is it just me, or lately are we seeing so many women hurting their friends? Like, I'm seeing so many women stabbing other women that they're supposed to be friends with, so many women killing other women that they're supposed to be friends with, and the underlying cause is jealousy. And I saw one yesterday. It's about a young girl. I'm going to put the details on the screen. And it's about a young girl, and she got stabbed 6 times by her friend that she lived with. And when I'm like paying attention to her story and I'm looking into all of these other articles and these cases of these other women's stories, the common thread of all of them is jealousy. A big issue I feel like for women is that we're not able to admit someone is jealous of us, or it feels like someone's jealous of us, because it's like, who do you think you are? Why would they be jealous of you? And when you ask someone, why would someone be jealous of you? What you do is you get them to stray away from their intuition, stray away from the discernment that's trying to tell them a message, that's trying to warn them, and put them into their logical mind. So in a logical mind, you're going to start asking questions and be like, what do I have that they don't have? And when you look at it from the outside looking in, you may think, oh, there's no reason to be jealous. Maybe I'm just in my head. But there's a reason why you got that sign in the first place. There's a reason why you had that feeling in the pit of your stomach. I feel like it's really important to understand that jealousy doesn't need a reason, like not a reason that you can understand anyway, because it's not about you really, it's about someone else's insecurities and how they feel about themselves. I was even watching a video of Rebecca Lynn Pope, and she was talking about frenemies and things like that, and she explained a situation where she had a great opportunity, she told a friend about it, the friend didn't really give much reaction, and then afterwards the friend butt dialed her and was explaining to someone else like all these nasty things, making up lies about her and stuff. But it turned out it was because the opportunity that Rebecca had got, that friend always dreamed of having that. Bearing in mind though, the opportunity Rebecca got was because she had worked hard in that field, and the friend had never done anything in that field to get that opportunity. So it's like the dream couldn't even manifest itself because you're not in the position to get the dream manifested, if that makes sense. And I thought that was such a good example, because in that situation, she had no idea, there was nothing to prove that her friend would have wanted the same thing to come true for her. And all of a sudden, now that's her dream too. And I feel like so many times our intuition comes through and tells us, like, watch out for this person or they're jealous. And we'll get into our mind and the world will tell us, like, who do you think you are to admit someone's jealous of you? We hold back and we ignore it, and then in the end we're in danger, because it's true. Sometimes God is trying to protect us by telling us that people have the spirit of envy on them. We need to listen. We don't need the proof, because sometimes you get the proof much too late.
Yes, people who have more than you can be jealous of you. This is a word right here, so prepare yourself. I'm going to repeat what I said at the beginning. People who have more than you can be jealous of you. Just because someone materialistically has a lot more than you does not mean that they are not very jealous of you and still watching you. Just because somebody is in a long relationship and you're single does not mean that they're not still jealous of you and watching you. Just because someone seemingly has a better social life and more friends than you does not mean that they are not still jealous of you and watching you. Jealousy is not about what someone has. Jealousy is in somebody's heart, and it's at the core of who they are because of their insecurities that can't be covered up by money, by a relationship, or by a social life. Jealousy comes from people who aren't truly comfortable or sure of who they are. So if you're someone that's super comfortable with who you are, you're an independent thinker, and you really just stand strongly with your opinions and your thoughts and how you move, and you don't really feel fazed, there's a good chance that people who seemingly have more than you are still jealous of you. Because what you have to realize is that you're probably what I consider to be spiritually rich or wealthy. A strong mindset is golden. It literally can make you shine in a room. Your confidence can make you shine in a room full of people who have way more than you. So if you can't figure out why someone who seemingly has so much more than you is comparing themselves to you, competing with you, and seems jealous of you and the things that you're doing, it's probably because you're spiritually rich or wealthy and they feel that energy. And that makes them envious of you. Not because you have more bank than them, not this, that, and the third. There's something inside of you that they're picking up on, and never let go of that. Let them sweat, honey. Being spiritually rich is beautiful. You know yourself, and that is worth $1 million.
Come sit on this porch with me, baby. If you have ever had somebody who is jealous or envious of you, your abilities, your connections, let's talk. And I'm talking jealousy that looks like destruction. They are trying to destroy your connections, destroy your success, sabotage, or assassinate your character. That's who we're talking about. Uh-oh, the light shined on me again. The Lord's finna use me. When a person feels inadequate within themselves, that inadequacy can spill over and manifest as envy and jealousy. Why? Because you possess something they desire. When a person perceives themselves as lacking in certain areas, they compare themselves unfavorably to you or somebody else who possesses what it is that they desire. So that comparison triggers jealousy and envy. So now, because they focus on the things that they lack instead of appreciating the qualities that they have, they end up resenting the very person who possesses those qualities that they covet. Comparison is natural. Being envious or jealous to the points where you're trying to be destructive is not. And for that person who has that feeling of inadequacy or those feelings of inadequacy, that is a signal of the insecurities within them. And it's not going to change until they really start building that self-acceptance and that gratitude towards the qualities, the attributes, the characteristics, the successes that they possess. For most people, it's not hard to admit that they admire something that somebody possesses. But for a person who has a deep-rooted feeling of inadequacy that has not done the work to actually work through those feelings, they can't admit that they simply just admire you or what it is that you have. It's their mindset. So if you are dealing with that type of person, if that person is around you, remove yourself from that person because they have some internal work to do. And the only thing that's going to come out of it is the demolish of you, what you've built, or their attempt to sabotage everything good for you. Because then they'll feel better because they want to bring you to a level that they see themselves or that they perceive themselves at. Don't waste your time, honey. Burn the bridge. All right? Bye, babies.
The most dangerous person walking this earth is a fake, disloyal, envious, jealous person who calls themselves your friend.
Sometimes what causes jealousy isn't your money, your car, or the things that you have. Because the jealous person could have that all and more. What causes jealousy is your essence, your energy, how you carry yourself, your aura, the way you manage your values in life. Those things that make you shine and no one can ever turn off, that's what causes jealousy.
If girls you barely know hate you for no reason, congratulations, you have something they want and they believe they can't have it. Jealousy amongst other women is something I would never be able to wrap my head around, but it is extremely common, and pretty girls, I am warning you, jealous women are dangerous. Women that want something that you have, whether it's your looks, your boyfriend, your life, your essence, are extremely dangerous. And this is super common, especially if you're a pretty girl, especially if you have the full package, which is a pretty girl. There is just something about a pretty girl with a pretty heart that makes jealous girls' blood boil. And jealousy in women comes in many different shapes. You have the one that pretends to be your friend. You have the one that points out your things, but not you. Oh girl, yes, I love that dress, but has no comment about how you look, just how the dress looks. And I'm not saying this in every case. Of course, you can compliment what people are wearing, but if you have a friend that does this 24/7, she's most likely jealous of you. You also have the woman who tries to make your life impossible when you barely know her, goes out of her way to inconvenience you and try to make your life impossible because she's jealous of your life. She's jealous of your essence. She's jealous of your beauty, outward and inward. And it is all a projection of how they feel about themselves. So ladies, if any of this sounds familiar, and it can be friends, but it can also be distant family members as well, please see the signs, don't ignore the red flags, and act accordingly. I love you guys, stay pretty.
Beware of the jealous older person in the workplace. I didn't really know if I was going to end up talking about this on here, but it really is a problem that I've dealt with for a long time now. And I want to make sure that like you guys know that like if you feel this way, like your gut is right, like they're jealous of you. If you're young and you're like really doing your thing, like you landed that fire internship at that company, there's somebody older at that company who just seems like they just keep sliding you, but you're like, why would they be sliding me? Nah, they're sliding you. You have to realize that a lot of people older than us are really intimidated by our generation because we do not do things the traditional way. And we also have a lot more access to specific opportunities that they probably did not have back then. Just a lot of things are different. A lot of things are different, especially if you're just like super ambitious and young like me. Like you're just constantly making opportunities for yourself. And sometimes they can see just how far you're going to go and they know it. And it makes them uncomfortable. So they will start belittling you. And it sucks. Like it really sucks, especially because like for me, I personally feel like I have wanted a mentor figure so much in my career, but then I genuinely like kind of like stopped wanting one. I definitely have a couple, but I think it's been harder for me to make those connections because like people don't necessarily want to help me. Because the thing is, for a lot of people, it took so much for them to get to that place. Like that person that's older than you and sliding you, like it took so much for them to scrap and put it together and make their life what it is at that point. And sometimes they pass down like this struggle mentality of like, you have to go through all of the crazy bad stuff that they went through in order to get to their point. And if not, they don't respect you. So it's like literally in a way, they're like hazing you. Child, it's a mess. But yeah, just beware of it and know that if you feel like that's what you're feeling, it's probably what you're feeling. I've dealt with this for a while. I've had 6 internships and like own my own business, and I used to honestly like try to lower my vibe so that I don't intimidate people because I know how I end up coming off. But like not anymore. I'm just like, child, they're gonna have to get over it. Like, I'm sorry that I made do with what I have. Like,
and yes, it's true that some people can have more than you and still envy you and still want, for some reason, have this burning desire to humble you. You have a light that they want to dim. You have a flame that they want to put out. And you have a confidence about you that they feel like is superior. You think you're better than us, so I'm going to take you off that high horse. But it's like, no, I know who I am. I know whose I am. And you don't like that I'm confident, so you want to humble me. Let's just call a spade a spade. When you know you have a light and you walk, talk, and act like you have a light, that's the problem. When you know what your purpose is and you're walking in that purpose or you're walking towards that purpose, that's the problem. They got the cars, the clothes, the family, the marriage, all of the materialistic things, and still they haven't quite yet put their finger on the thing that you got your finger on. That's the problem. You have a light and you know you have a light. You have a purpose and you know what that purpose is. That is the problem.
Energy never lies. That's why when you get the feeling that somebody doesn't like you and your gut senses just start tingling, bro, you better believe yourself. When somebody is low-key not supposed to be in your life, like they're just a hater, they don't like you like that, like something is just off, the signs will be there. And the number one sign will always be the energy that they give you. Especially when you're like an intuitive person, you be knowing. And like sometimes we try to like downplay stuff and be like, oh, you know, maybe I'm just making things deeper than they are. Maybe it's just me being in my head. No, you're not. And honestly, you just have to get to a point where you accept that not everybody's gonna like you like that, and that's honestly okay. You're not gonna be for everybody and everybody's not gonna be for you, and that is just like a fact of life. But to sit here and try to dim your light just to make other people feel comfortable or make somebody like you or keep somebody in your life, like, nah, do not do that. Me personally, I just gotten to a point where I just let people think what they want to think about me, and I don't particularly care that much. Because in my personal opinion, I feel like people's opinions of you only really matter when you give them weight and when you give them importance. And it's just like everybody's gonna have a thought, everybody's gonna have an opinion, everybody's gonna be thinking something, and it's just like, why give more power to something that's really not even that important in the grand scheme of things? You shouldn't stop being you. I shouldn't stop being me and living in our authentic self just to make other people feel comfortable and just to keep people around. Like, let them go so you can make space for somebody even better to come into your life.
You cannot convince me, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You cannot convince me that people don't know what they're doing. I was just talking to a client about this the other day. People have to have real intent and an interest to change their behavior. They also have to care. Like, a person knows that they're being inconsistent. They might not know why. I can understand not knowing why they do it, but a person knows that they're being inconsistent. A person knows that they're running late to something. A person knows that they're not giving you their best. They might not know what their best is, but they know that they're not giving you enough or giving you something to want to stay, to want to participate in whatever the relationship is. So again, there has to be true intent, there has to be true interest, and there has to be some form of care in order to change the behavior. So I say all of that to say, stop trying to convince somebody to do something that they are not willing or interested in doing.
What's up, fam? Did y'all see that viral video a few days ago where these girls try to poison their own friend? That shit crazy, man. That's why you gotta be careful who you call your friend. You can't be hanging around everybody. This girl is always, winning. She getting new promotions at a job. This happening for her. Friends end up being envy, jealous, want to take her out to celebrate her new job promotion. As they take her out to eat, they end up slipping something in her drink while she was going to the bathroom. Good thing, when God looking out for you, he gonna have somebody that's always watching, that's gonna tell you whenever destruction, or warn you before destruction comes. Good thing a man was looking and seeing what they was doing. He called the girl to the side like, hey, you better not drink that drink. Your friends put something in there. So when she get back to the table, they all of a sudden, come on, girl, let's celebrate. Go ahead and drink your drink. This, that, and the third. So the girl on Mark already knowing what's going on. She like, no, you drink it. So after she told her friends to drink it, they end up not drinking it. And they like, girl, come on, you always getting new promotion. You always doing this. You always doing that. She got mad, I guess, because the girl ain't never drank it. I'm just like, why? This, that, and the third. Like, basically end up showing her colors. And so that just goes to show, man, you got to be careful out here. You can't be calling everybody your friend, hanging out with everybody. Everybody's not happy for you. People want to...
Insecure women only become friends with other women that they do not perceive as a threat. Let me get into it because I just came to this realization in full speed. This means if you are quote unquote prettier than them, if you dress better than them, you just do your makeup better, you're thriving in life a little bit more, you have a good relationship, you have a good job, anything of that sort. But the real way an insecure woman calculates if you're a threat or not is attention. Do you get more attention than them from men? Do you get more attention than them from other women? That's the real kicker. Because of that, these women will not befriend you. Or if they do, they are the most toxic friends you will ever have. They will isolate you. They won't invite you places. They'll try to look better than you in pictures. This is a huge one. Like, homegirl will really post a picture where she knows you don't look the best in, but will still post it anyways because they look better. These are also the type of women who I know you met before, who actually get mad when their friends have other friends. They almost feel like these people have to be their sidekicks, their companions through everything, and only belong to them. Like, if they see you make new friends, this enrages them the most. Because these insecure women cling to their friends as almost like sidekicks, and these sidekicks have to be kind of their like plus ones to everything they do. Basically, their validation. Because people with a healthy view of themselves and their friendships will actually be happy for you when you make new friends. They won't perceive it as a threat because they know where they stand in your life, and they also see themselves in a good light. Because the fear there is that the person is scared to be replaced by these new friends. And I could do multiple parts about this topic.